Weathertight warranties are great because they give commercial building owners peace of mind that their metal roof installation is going to perform and last over time. For Sheffield Metals, we have a very specific Weathertight warranty application process. That's what we're talking about in today's video on the Metal Roofing channel. What's up guys, welcome to the Metal Roofing channel. I'm Barnette. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. We release metal roofing and metal construction content every Monday and Wednesday. Today we are talking about Weathertight warranties, specifically how to apply for a Weathertight warranty through Sheffield Metals. And today I have Dave Stubbs, the Assistant Technical Director from Sheffield Metals. He's going to talk us through the process. Dave, thanks for being here.
Hey Thad, Weathertight warranties come up quite often. And it's important that we have that sort of a product, in our platform to make sure that our installers or contractors have the ability to supply weathertight warranties to a lot of different entities, whether it's public facilities, government jobs, things of that nature. And a lot of times, we'd rather be on the front end of the project during the bid process. During the bid process, we have a form, weathertight warranty quote form, where we need some information. We'd like to have, roof plan, elevations, and the specifications for the project, just so that we can review and make sure that our roof system or our warrantable roof system can achieve the performance level of what the ownership, the architect, and those entities get what they think they're getting. But the quote form is important at the bid process. That way, that money, the funds and appropriate funds are in that job bid, so that you don't get hit with, a couple thousand, 5,000, whatever that warranty cost is. That's known up front.
Why don't we take a closer look at some of these documents and you can walk me through the process even more.
Here is the first page of the Weathertight warranty. The Weathertight warranty procedures are super important because it puts into place the procedures and the Weathertight warranty requirements. So the fill-in portion of the Weathertight warranty quote request form, we've got the project name, location, which is super important. And I also am under the understanding that project names change. So we start out in one, and a lot of times, like for instance, schools will sometimes just be a school number, a school district, school number 12. And then by the end, it's named after, some historian, like Abraham Lincoln High School, something like that. So we understand that. So this isn't necessarily a hard line document. It just gives us the opportunity to name the job, know the location, get the size, when's it going to bid, what type of facility it is, length of warranty, standard warranty or no dollar limit. Those are the two options as far as the quantitative structure of the warranty. And what's important is roof slope. And sometimes there's more than one roof slope, so please list them all. Panel profile and width. Sometimes the width is dictated by the specifications, and the profile fits and the width changes as long as it's not more than what we have in our engineering, and the width of the panel is less. It still applies for the engineering, which is key. We also want to know what the deck assembly is. Is it plywood? Is it B deck? Is it B deck over or ISO over B deck? All those things come into play as far as given that communication of what the assembly is. It's important. And then we start identifying some of the other parts of it, which is, are there any large penetrations, chimneys, roof hatches, skylights, and we'll identify that and make sure that we have that the contractor, the person that's bidding the project, estimator, has the appropriated funds for both warranty, curbs that they're going to have to purchase, whatever cost is involved with the large penetrations, chimney flashings. Make sure that those things are all accounted for, and make sure that all the required documents are also attached: roof plan, elevations, panel specifications. Those are all very important. And then once again, we list, some of the notes as far as fastener flange 1-inch panel is not approved for Weathertight warranties. Roof slopes need to be appropriated from the SMI. Will dictate how those are assembled. because we start getting into low slope conditions, and different parts of the country are going to require some different requirements. And then we also list again, all square penetrations will require a pre-manufactured curb. All these things are very important. Sealant that's required. We prefer Novaflex or APS 500. Underlayment. We just try to reinforce that we want to know what's going into it. We need to know it's our warranty. And these warranties are long. I mean, if you're looking at our the most popular, the one that we do the most is a 20-year no dollar limit. 20 years is a long time. So we really need to know what's going into it, because that thing needs to last. And the way we do it, it's going to last. And then, foremost, we quote the warranty, we sign off on it, and that's the warranty cost for this job. So now we get into the Weathertight warranty application. And our procedures are all the same. I mean, we just basically copy and paste and make sure that everything is covered. And then the Weathertight warranty project information. It supplies everyone with our information as far as my email address. We ask for the company name, who's going to be paying for the warranty, who's going to be responsible, who's going to be the responsible party for the warranty. Who's going to get that call if something were to happen. And then we ask for job name, address, potentially phone number if there's one available, person to contact, and email address. Some of those things don't apply, but all the information, we'd like to have any information that is applicable, on this form. That way, if there's any problem, we know who to call. And then we ask that you provide one set of installation drawings, shop drawings. That's that approved installation details. Those need to be provided to us. One set of architectural drawings, the roof plan, elevations. Electronic copies are always preferred, because the fast information that we get, we like to have it electronically. It's fast, quick, easy, and it lets us prepare really fast. And then more information that we need is who's the owner of the project? Who's the responsible party that we might get a call for if we ever have a leak? We don't want to have leaks, but we need to have that contact information. Who's a general contractor? Who are you in contract with? As far as the installer, who are you in contract with? General contractor's company, their address, phone, email, and then installation contractor. That's generally the same as the contractor, but we just need that information. And then moving over, panel supplier. We say that's not SMI. Who's roll forming your goods? Who's supplying the panels? Sometimes it's the installation contractor. That happens a lot. You can put same as, but we really like to have it filled out just so it makes sense. So many times, people put Sheffield Metals. That's why we said not Sheffield Metals. We're not the panel supplier. Whoever's roll forming the panels, that's the panel supplier. And then we would like to have the architect's name and their pertinent information. We need anticipated dates. When's it going to start? When do you think midpoint's going to be? When's completion? And we know it's a little bit of a throwing darts. It's construction, but anticipated dates are what they are. What do you anticipate? When do we need to kind of put a window out there to make sure that we have the approved installation details distributed? When might my inspector need to be out there? Kind of gives us a rough idea. It's always nice. And then some more pertinent information, roof pitch. We discussed that earlier in the quote. What's a roof pitch? List all that apply. If you got a 212 or 4, list them all. We're fine with that. Panel system or panel profile that's going to be installed, please list those. Sometimes there's more than one. If you get a low slope and you need to do a mechanical seam, please list that. List all the profiles that are going to be necessary in what is involved with the Weathertight warranty. Type of underlayment, please list that. Sometimes they want to do a different underlayment. We're not against looking at other underlayments if they fit the bill. We look at underlayments all the time. If somebody wanted to use Grace Ultra, Vicor, hey, that's Cadillac. Probably wouldn't have a problem with it, but we just got to make sure it's appropriate for the installation. So type of underlayment, type of deck. What are we installing the panels on? Is it going to be a wood substrate? So many times they just put wood. Well, we want to know the thickness. We want to know what it is. They put 3/4 inch. Well, is it 3/4 inch OSB or is it 3/4 inch plywood? We need to have that stuff listed just to make sure that everybody's on the same page and we have clear identification of what, in principle, the assembly is going to be. Does it require specific UL, FM, or ASTM engineering? 90% of the time, no. But if that's the case, we need to have that identified. Make sure that we have appropriate engineering behind it, or if we need to do job site specific stuff, we might have a channel for them to get that specific thing. So all these things need to be filled out, and it's just information that's necessary. And then last but not least is the agreement portion. This, basically identifies that all these things are important. We identify the 3-week notification once again, and identify what is the duration, first, square foot. This one kind of gets left out so many times, but we need to know the square foot. That's super important. What's the duration of the warranty, or what's the length of warranty in years? And then what type of warranty, limited or no dollar limit? And then have the understanding that by filling this out and signing, you are, under the terms and conditions of this Weathertight warranty, you are entering into an agreement with Sheffield. And then here's where we fill out, our understanding of the project. What's the base fee? Is there going to be travel involved? Most of the time, the fees that are charged for the warranty are incorporated into the travel fee. We don't have explicit fees for travel. It's all incorporated in the price. If we're doing something, out of the ordinary, off the coast, something like that, we might have to do a travel fee. We don't do it often. And then total fee is acknowledged, and it's accepted, and everything is signed off on. It's just basically a full disclosure to intent to warrant the project. That's the basics of the application process, and how we get to the front end of the Weathertight warranty of the project. And then getting those further steps with the inspections, the inspection reports, the remedies. That's the guts of it. And then when we get to the end, we get to a warrantable condition. I write the warranties, I distribute the warranties, I distribute the invoices at the same time. It's a closeout package. Everything's divulged. I get paid. We get the warranties back signed. I sign off. That's a quick process. Most people are surprised on how fast we turn warranties around, and the only thing that holds up is payment. But it's just one of the boxes I check, and we get it out the door. So that's the Reader's Digest version of the Weathertight warranty process.
Yeah, there's a ton of great information here, Dave. Especially if you're just looking at some of these documents or reading through the website, you might not realize everything that's involved. So I'd stress to make sure you're reading the Weathertight warranty procedures. The Sheffield Technical Department puts those in multiple places for a reason. So make sure you just read everything, go through everything, and so you understand everything that's expected of you and that it's expected of Sheffield Metals as well. So Dave, thanks so much. Really appreciate all the information. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel. For more information on Weathertight warranties, check out SheffieldMetals.com. And as always, I'm Thad Barnett, and we'll catch you next time.